Hello and welcome. I am here to do a reaction video. We're going to be reacting to Why Aren't Actors Ugly Anymore? I'm Intende for those of you who don't know me, and let's get into it.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
Bill Murray was 33 when he shot Ghostbusters.
That's right, boys.
And in the 70s and 80s, this is what actors in their 30s and 40s look like. But something has changed since then, because actors that age today don't look like this anymore.
I love how Bill Murray is the first ugly actor. You know, poor Bill Murray, he did not ask for this.
Lost my hand!
They look like this, or like this. Actors today need to have great hair, perfect skin, and be in flawless shape. They don't look like regular people anymore, they look like supermodels. This isn't every single actor, but it's clear there's been an overall change in how A-list performers look. And it's also how they're shown to the camera, like in low lighting and with more vibrant colours. They're surrounded by other people, and on an actual set, rather than a green screen.
Everything's under control, situation normal.
You're probably
It's interesting, when I look at the 2020, the actors in the 2020s, they kind of look like children. Like, they kind of look like, I feel like I'm looking more like at a child and less at like an adult person.
gonna say this is because of a wider trend of movies looking bland and flat nowadays, and things like bad lighting, dull colours, and the Netflixy look make basically everything in modern movies look worse. And also, we can't ignore cosmetic surgery.
As my plastic surgeon always said.
But if you look at movies from before the millennia, it's hard to deny that the actors looked more like regular people.
Keep it still back there, lady, or else we're gonna have to shoot you.
Okay, so the word ugly is a bit harsh, and I'm not trying to objectify or body shame anyone. Most people who are cast in movies aren't unpleasant to look at. I just mean that they have bodies and faces that could theoretically belong to a normal person without the aid of personal trainers, dietitians, and plastic surgeons. They look like normal everyday people you could see walking down the street.
I need a man who has powerful friends.
Bruce Willis, Bill Murray, and Jack Nicholson aren't bad looking guys, but they have a sort of everyman appeal that we just don't see in today's stars.
Saw it on the television.
And a big part of this is that today, people just generally look younger.
Physical, clean,
Age.
26.
There's a great Vsauce video from a few years ago that goes
Yeah, you see, look younger. That's what I was saying. Kind of like they look like children. It is weird that nowadays people do look younger.
into this in more detail. Essentially, the clothes and overall style has changed, and combined with better medical care, nutrition, and less smoking, people are healthier and better looking.
Guess I started smoking when I was about 4.
So here's a few age comparisons that highlight this in
My
action.
mom was already dead then from lung cancer.
Gene Hackman is 44 here. Actors in their mid-40s today look like this,
Are we soulmates?
or like this. There's quite a big difference.
Just a little slap!
Sylvester Stallone was 30 when he first shot Rocky.
Look at his face.
A comparable actor today would be Timothy Chalamet at 29.
You young
But
pop!
they play very different types of characters. If we want to be fair, let's compare two all-American action stars.
Drop it, dickhead.
Glenn Powell, 35 in Twisters, and Bruce Willis, 33 in Die Hard. Robert Pattinson was 35 when he played Batman, and Michael Keaton was only 2 years older.
Bruce Wayne.
Are you sure?
But Keaton has visible lines around his mouth, his hair has receded a bit, and he has a subtle 5 o'clock shadow that doesn't feel purposeful. But Pattinson, even though dressed up to look sleep-deprived and reclusive, has a chiseled jaw and perfect skin. Overall, he looks a lot younger.
That's interesting.
But there's something more at play than actors simply looking older in the past.
Frank, they're not here for you.
It's the kind of faces that have changed too.
Weird Al Yankovic is on.
Liam Neeson in his underwear. I didn't know I was going to see that. Okay. It is crazy, though, that actors, that us not smoking, sleeping better, paying attention to more our skin, gives us this youthful look. But yeah, it's like this almost not child, but yeah, it's just this youthfulness. It's just different.
It's the everyman look, receding curly hair or imperfect skin. And it's because of these distinct features that characters had a stronger sense of personality just by looking at them.
Do you have any hobbies?
I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
In the opening of Once Upon a Time in the West, we meet 3 characters who don't survive the end of the scene. But they all have an interesting look. Al Mullock has long hair blowing across his face and vibrant blue eyes. Jack Elam has the long eyebrows and beard that goes down his neck. And then Woody Strode looks completely different, with a square jaw and a piercing look. From their faces alone, we can get a level of understanding to their character. It's hard to put into words, but we get a feeling that this guy is going to behave differently to this guy. and then compare them to the station manager, we can understand the dynamic just from the way they look. You can say this is down to great casting, and to some extent it is, but ultimately, it's just these guys' faces that carry the entire 15-minute opening.
Oh, well, I suppose it'll be alright.
It's the same with the heads of the 5 families in The Godfather. Sure, they all look like mob bosses, but they have small differences in their appearance.
We're all grateful to Don Corleone for calling this meeting.
How they style their hair, the type of suit they wear, and how fat they are, all goes a long way to tell us about their character.
He had all the judges and politicians in his pocket.
And this isn't just limited to side characters, even the leads in the past had a more interesting look. They didn't all look like supermodels.
You look like 40 miles of rough road.
This is people like Sissy Spacek, Leslie Nielsen and Cher. They simultaneously look like a normal person, but also have a unique look.
Completely normal individual.
Kurt Russell in Escape from New York was big, but in shirtless scenes his abs have little definition. Bruce Willis was handsome, but his receding hairline and modest muscles retain a sort of everyman look. And compare how Hugh Jackman looked in the first X-Men film in 2000 to Deadpool Wolverine. So what is the effect of this? What is the effect of seeing these?
Yeah, it is interesting that when you have an everyman look, as he says, it gives you an individuality. Like, you are an individual. You're not like this mold that has to fit into this perfect Hollywood that we're in today. It's so interesting that, yeah, you can see the difference.
Regular looking people on screen, and how does seeing interesting faces work to make a movie better? Let's take a look at a few examples.
What have you done to it? What have you done to its eyes?
This is Mia Farrow in Rosemary's Baby.
I'm Rosemary Woodhouse.
As the film progresses, she cuts her hair shorter and begins to look paler and thinner. Visually, we understand the transformation the character is undergoing.
I'm not changing. I just want to go to Dr. Hill and get a second opinion.
Would this work if she was played by someone like Margot Robbie? I don't think so. It's Mia Farrow's unique look that helps make the character feel like an actual person that could exist somewhere, which makes us empathise with her more.
Dr. Hill, please.
It's the same with John Travolta in Blowout, Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson in The Shining, and Malcolm McDowell in A Clockwork Orange.
It was horrible.
In Star Wars, Luke and his family look like fairly ordinary people, whereas Grand Moff Tarkin and the Imperial officers have a much more austere look to them.
Fear will keep the local systems in line.
In the 20th century, the pool of actors to choose from seems to have been much more aesthetically varied than it is today. There was actors with big noses.
I got it, go ahead.
Big foreheads.
He's gonna prove it to the whole world.
Heavy-set eyes.
Did you know that?
And receding hairlines.
With you and me together, that'd be tops.
We subconsciously infer things about people's personality based on their features, which in turn helps them create a richer character without much heavy lifting.
Mentally, you picture my dog.
In Taxi Driver, De Niro's buddies look like real cab drivers you could actually find in New York. This guy, completely bald on top but with a flow at the back. This guy with his scruffy beard and round glasses. And even De Niro himself with his 5 o'clock shadow and redness around his eyes. If he got into a cab...
It's crazy that I'm the same age as Robert De Niro is in Taxi Driver. Like, I'm the same.
And even De Niro himself.
I'm the same age as this guy. Like, I'm actually also better looking. But no, that's crazy that I'm the same age as Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver.
Off of his 5 o'clock shadow and redness around his eyes. If he got into a cab and this was the driver, you wouldn't think twice.
Did I tell you to do that with the meter?
All of these actors look like they actually belong in the setting rather than just walking out of a dressing room.
Can I talk to you for a second?
And this is environmental immersion. In 1976, after Sylvester Stallone went 15 rounds in Rocky, his face was soaking wet, his hair sticking to his head, and he's covered in blood with his face fully contorted with bruises. But in 2015, after Michael B. Jordan fought in Creed, he's just got a subtle sheen of sweat and a small bruise around one eye.
Stop!
It's weird. Even though, like with Michael B. Jordan, it's way more realistic, it feels less alive. It feels... I don't even know how to describe it, but the feeling is different. I don't feel immersed in the world.
It's me!
At the end of Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's suit is ripped to hell, revealing his bruised, dirty and sweaty face and this chaotic tear across his mask.
Mr. Osborn.
But for Tom Holland, he's got a couple of cuts that seem very intentionally placed, and his suit isn't ripped at all. His mask hasn't been torn open, but just neatly taken off.
Blondie,
Is water?
After Clint Eastwood walked 70 miles in the desert, his face is completely scarred and burned. We can barely recognize it. But today, there aren't many examples of actors looking scarred like this. It seems like everyone has to look perfect all the time. It's as if somewhere along the way, almost every actor has taken the substance and transformed into a kind of picture-perfect version of themselves. Not a single wrinkle, not a hair out of place, and completely smooth skin. The best we'll get is maybe a small smear of dirt or a tiny cut.
I mean, come on. I don't think Vin Diesel, I think that man has armor on his skin. So, of course, he's going to walk out of a flaming car A-okay.
And they look great, but when everyone looks perfect, things start to get a bit stale. And sure, this isn't every single actor working today. You can still find distinct looking people, but it seems like it is the majority of them.
Interesting how the distinct looking people are the older actors that come from the previous era. It's almost as if it's like, we got these older people that, we gotta wash out first. And then we can replace them with the new Hollywood.
In an article from 2021, Raquel S. Benedict likens our body to become an investment in which we have to maximize our value through looking good. We're reduced to a collection of features like perfect skin or a strong jawline. The body is no longer the vehicle through which we experience joy and pleasure, but a status symbol that needs to be constantly presentable to the world.
Put your greasy tits away, you preening slut.
For actors, this is taken to the extreme, especially for women. They can never age or show any imperfection. They need to be a bankable star, and a big part of this is looking good on camera.
Pretty girls should always smile!
Let's take hairlines as an example. Sure, Andrew Garfield probably got a hair transplant because he thought it would improve his appearance, but also because it's better to have a smaller forehead as a leading man. And with modern technology, if you can fix this, why wouldn't you?
Yes, Sergeant!
This just wasn't the case in the past, hence a wider spectrum of hairlines and a bigger aesthetic variety.
I wouldn't touch one hair on his goddamn little head.
But today, this is becoming increasingly noticeable, and more people are commenting on it, and here are a few things they've said. I miss actors having normal teeth, and then a picture of Tom Cruise from The Outsiders.
Check this out, buddy.
It's so annoying and just plain boring that everyone has the same teeth, the same body. I miss people looking different and interested.
Restroom and make sure my hair is perfect.
I watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers last night, and it stood out to me that while Sutherland is hot, he's also clearly in his 40s. Like, if Hollywood wanted to make a movie of a 40-something A-lister playing a middle-aged health inspector, who would they cast? Ryan Reynolds? Chris Evans?
I got this.
We no longer have leading men who are good-looking and charismatic, but also don't look like they wake up at 5 AM to hit the gym. On Twitter, someone was talking about the 1974...
I think also what's going on is you don't feel like you're watching an actor. It just feels like you're watching... It's almost as if the actors are a mold. And that it's like, okay, we have this mold of this person, and then we're just placing them there. We're not seeing like the individual. I think this ties in with the death of the movie star, the death of individuality too.
Movie taken of Pelham 123. They said it's weirdly invigorating to watch a movie where every actor has an incredible face, and they all look normal, like no veneers in sight.
This is supposed to be a democracy.
Old actors have more grace than current ones. We can't have a truly accurate cast for the Beatles because they just don't make weird, crusty looking young men actors like that anymore. I miss casting movies that weren't all A-listers or trying to be. Sometimes just having normal ass people in your movie makes it feel more realistic. To which someone replied, "Convinced this will be the downfall of the Odyssey." Which brings us on to perhaps a good label to put on this kind of perfect looking A-lister we see today. iPhone face. It's hard to define, but I think it's basically this kind of pristine look that most actors seem to have. It's why some people look out of place in period pieces, because they've got a modern haircut or their teeth are too white. They're striving for a kind of look that didn't really exist before the 21st century. And this speaks to a kind of aesthetic that many modern movies have. They're perfectly lit, the set perfectly designed, the actors in perfectly clean clothes. But this kind of perfection, set perfectly designed, the actors in perfectly clean clothes. But this kind of perfection just makes it all look boring. It's the messiness of a normal kitchen, or the dirt kicked up from horses, the colour of the set, and the way it's lit. We're losing a sense of personality not only in how actors look, but in how films in general look.
Hello?
Digital cinematography has given everything the same kind of Netflixy feel. Look, this isn't every movie, and it's not every actor. If you look for it, you can find interesting looking people in modern movies, but this whole change in how actors, and by extension movies in general...
I love how Paul Giamatti is the... Yo, I think he just called Paul Giamatti ugly, but I love Paul Giamatti. No, but yeah, you're right. Notice how he also is an older act. It's the older people that look more normal.
General look is a natural result of an industry that's afraid to take risks. Movies need to make money, so they minimize anything that could theoretically make the film less successful, but in the process, remove what makes it special. Both films and actors aren't ugly anymore. They're not dirty anymore or bruised anymore. No one looks normal, and everyone looks perfect. And this is a problem.
Man, that was good. You know, if I were to retitle this, I wouldn't say why aren't actors ugly anymore. It's why aren't movies human anymore? Why aren't movies individual? Because we've lost our individuality. We've kind of just tried to, okay, you know, this prim and perfect, which there's nothing wrong with Timothée Chalamet. There's nothing wrong with Glenn Powell, and there's nothing wrong with Andrew Garfield. It's just, that's a copy and paste. I believe his name's Tom Holland. Tom Holland, like I said, I'm not saying he's a bad actor, but he fits the mold. What makes acting, what makes movies, what makes it so exciting is that these are individuals. I think A24 is showing us more normal actors in their movies. But that's one of the rare and few and far in between. Sadly, I think movies are going to have to lose a lot of money before they start experimenting again, because they're like, oh, this has to make $1 billion. We got to make another Avatar movie. We got to make another Avengers movie. We got to show Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is going to play Iron Man until he's in a walker. So I think that what makes movies so exciting, and YouTube is kind of becoming the same way. Everything has to be Mr. Beast. Everything. You can't just post a video that gets 5 views and you just loved making it. You know, things just have to always be optimized for some algorithm. But the problem is like when you try to make everything for an algorithm, algorithms are not human. AI is not human. It loses that touch. It loses that feeling. I'm really glad that I watched this. It really forces me to think, and I'm glad that other people are thinking this way too. Let me know what you think about movies. If you liked older ones, if you like previous ones, if you like current ones, if you like the iPhone, you know, the iPhone look of actors, or if you don't, you know, let me know. Thanks for watching this video. If you like, please like and subscribe. My social should be linked down below and at the end of this video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.
Da chamada